Here.
They skimmed the glue.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me why I'm a shady fuck.
I do not think you are. That's why I'm having the conversation with you,
Yeah.
as opposed to the other.
Who's the other?
Sorry, as opposed to what you just said. I don't think you're a shady fuck. That's why I'm having this conversation with you, as opposed to trying to source out the information elsewhere.
Yeah. Brr. Oh my god.
Tell me what you remember about your conversations from last night,
Why?
if you would, please.
Why do you have the power to ask me to do such a thing?
I don't. I'm asking you
Okay.
from a trust basis.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear
Yeah.
the pre-nomination chat.
Pre-nomination chat. Everyone's rushing to get inside to chat with Olivia. I think I was after a few people.
Right.
I rushed inside there, and this is between you and I.
Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked you to
Okay.
come in the combs.
She tells me one name,
Yeah.
and I was against it.
Yes.
And then I left after telling her that I did not want the person to go up on the block because I felt like it was her breaking her word to someone else, which I knew she made her word to,
Okay.
in a way.
Okay.
And I had like direct evidence of that, and it pissed me off because it was like her being an example of potentially being a liar if she followed through on it. I'm not saying that was you. I'm saying
Okay.
that was...
No, I know. That was
Yeah.
Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tuned in more than I think. I'm asking you what your conversation was because, again, I hadn't heard anything negative about what you said or did. I'd heard a couple different things.
Who told you that? Because I was only Olivia in the room with me.
Well, who do you think told me that?
Liv?
No.
Allie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Why'd she tell you that?
Well, because
In what context did she tell you that?
they're in complete and total damage control today. That the nominations were supposed to be Maddie and Marin, but because you freaked out to keep Maddie, they changed it to me.
That's a fucking joke. That is like, that is...
I
It's
know.
'cause that is
and I
like
don't
week
want,
one Allie
I
beyond.
want to
That just
have.
is so
I
typical.
want to just have the conversation with you.
Yeah.
Because I understand that no matter what anybody
Yeah.
says, that you would not have suggested me as a replacement, and that I know that the chatter will be that, well, we only kept Maddie because Johnny said we had to, and he freaked out, and
Like,
that's
as
why we
if.
put Nom. That's why we put out. That's specifically what I was told today.
Yeah.
Was that you put up so much of a fuss that they
Like-
stopped from. You've got cobwebs in here already.
Yeah.
That you put up so much of a fuss that there was no way that they could put Maddie up because then they would lose you forever, and so that's why they decided to put me up instead. Now, following through on that,
Yeah.
I had also been told that conversations were had, which I appreciate, that you were advocating for me to stay in conversations, and that you would have preferred if I had not been nominated as well.
I didn't feel like there's any way that you would have gone home, and I felt like
Right.
I would influence everyone to make that happen if I
But
had
still,
to. Yeah.
and I appreciate that, and I wanted to let you know that. So my information from last night was that the reason I was on the block was because you were passionately trying to save Maddie, and I was the only
Like, there's a
alternative.
house full of fucking people.
I understand. I understand, and I'm not saying that that's a direct threat at me because of your actions. I don't buy that for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also have heard that through the whole process, I had your support in those in other discussions that were
Okay.
happening, and I wanted to let you know I appreciated
Yeah,
that because again, given the context of this game
Yeah.
and where people's word is and where people's actions are, to me, last night's actions certainly confirmed words, and I wanted to let you know I appreciated that.
Cool, yeah.
Because I had, because they effectively kind of came at me with, well, you were the only option because Johnny was so mad about Maddie, and it was
Yeah.
never going to be you, but then Olivia panicked because she didn't want to piss Johnny off.
Like,
And I'm
what's
like,
annoying to me about that too is that afterwards they were like bothered with me because they felt like I had an alliance with Maddie or something like
right,
this.
right. Oh, I got told that today.
Yeah.
It's you, Will, Paris, and Maddie to the end.
By who?
By Allie? By Allie. It's you, Will, Paris, and Maddie to the end. So, and again, alliance talk involving you, involving me, involving all kinds of people. I mean, these are the people we were in an alliance just last week.
Yeah.
You know, we were a Final Five with Erica.
Wait, she told you that today, though?
What? She told me that today. That you're a Final Four with Will, Maddie, and Paris.
Yeah, cool.
So.
Because that's what she brought up as a fear yesterday, and I told her that absolutely wasn't the case, so I already squashed that with her, but apparently not.
Yeah. So just as somebody who takes their words that they speak as measured as you do, I feel like forwarding as much information to you as possible is a positive. And so, and again, it's just purely in the interest of information back and forth. But at the moment, because you are a guy that is seen throughout the house as someone who is cool with everybody, but not necessarily working with anybody from that standpoint. And I think what Allie was trying to do was distance me, because they see me hanging out with Paris, they see me hanging out with Will, they see me hanging out with Maddie, and so I became a target because of them, which distances me from them. That's not going to happen because I don't buy it. You know, I know Will, Paris, and Maddie are close. We sleep in the same bedroom, and if you look through this house, you know, like, all the pairs are sleeping together somewhere. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I wanted to have the discussion with you and tell you that I appreciate
What do I do? Do I, like, approach her now and discuss this?
No, 100% no.
Yeah.
No. But have the information for when you need it, if you need it.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I kind of got told that the only reason I was on the block is because you freaked out to save Maddie. And whether...
Olivia wouldn't say that, though.
No, that's what Allie said.
So, like, if I can talk to Olivia about it, then, like, she's like... She would never say anyone had any influence on her decisions at all.
I'm not really interested in talking to Olivia about why she put me up, because she put me up. And for whatever reason, and even if the plan was, oh, hey, you know, you're going to come down and we're going to backdoor hams, then fucking tell me that when I come into the room, because I did come into the room very late in the process. And she had time. And she had time after the nominations to talk to me, and she didn't. She pulled, you know, a bunch of people aside, but I was not one of those people. So if that was ever the plan, fucking let me know. Because all you've done is cause me the stress of thinking I'm going home. And never mind the fact that with the veto being somewhat uncertain all the time, anyone could win at any time, as I proved last night. You know, like, I'm not the comp guy. You know, I'm not supposed to be, but I won one because I had the right comp at the right time, you know? So the fact that anyone can win the veto at any time means that my game became an acceptable loss for them. And I'm not okay with the idea that my game is an acceptable loss for you. You know, so why do I need, if I'm acceptable casualties for your plan, then why would I ever believe what you have to say from a game perspective? Because all the damage control was done after Hams went home of, oh, we totally had a deal and we totally figured this out and everything was planned and all of this stuff, which I've double checked some of the stuff, and some of the stuff they told me isn't exactly on par. So
sorry, I've tuned you out a few times. I'm just like keep thinking about Allie. I'm like annoyed.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like it's information you should have.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
And again, what you choose to do with it is your business.
It's just like a clear like setup of like trying to cover all angles and like, you know, like so sneaky and like you don't talk to Johnny about this. But like, why wouldn't you talk to me about that?
Of course, I would prefer it if you kept. I would prefer it again if you kept the conversation between us.
Yeah, I will.
For the time being, because at the end of the day, you know, nothing comes from running at Allie right now.
No,
you know, it only comes from whatever. You know. But I felt, especially after, and I know conversations are just conversations, and I'm not going to walk in on a room and see 4 people gathered in a room and think that it's anything more than 4 people in a room. But my first attempt to talk to Erica today, I walked in and it was you, Allie, Liv, and Erica. And so the takeaway I had from that was, okay, I need to have this conversation with Johnny, because if he's sitting in a room with Liv, Erica, and Allie,
of me, Paris, Derek, and Erica after that.
But none of Paris or Derek came to me today to throw you under the bus.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're thinking if I was like talking with them openly, I shouldn't.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And well, not you shouldn't be. Your
Or
game,
just-
you do what
yeah,
you
yeah,
want. But I feel like, again, information being power.
Well,
I feel like they tried to kick you under the bus and try and get away from it being their
but it's
fault.
not the first time. Like,
and
all
make
last,
it your fault.
All last week, it was like, and yeah, I do like Maddie a lot. Like, we've in this entire
You
game,
guys hang out.
this entire game though, we've been like truthful with each other, but not sharing anything with each other. If that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
I can't tell you that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
But you know, like maybe one time it'll make sense for us to
Right.
be pals in this game, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Similar,
yeah.
I feel like to
Yeah.
how you and I are sort of
Yes.
in a way. You know.
Yes. We've got a will there. Okay.
Is there cob? Yes.
Like it's one strand that
I'll
keeps
back
getting
up.
in your hair, and I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Which is still decorative and beautiful, but not in your hair for fuck's sake.
But all last week it was like, I don't know, I was sort of like supporting this like no, like you don't have to have this like rivalry with like Liv kind of thing and like,
Right.
all this, and
Right.
that's why I was like trying to like make this bond sort of like be anything other than like she hates me, like because of that we
Right.
need to like hate each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like that just annoys me. I don't know. And then like when that fucking happened, I just went to anger mode. Like when like they took Maddie off and stuff, as if it was some like great gift of Maddie. I was like, yeah, but then it was like you put Veronica up, and it was like fuck you guys in a way, because it like just made me feel like
Right.
they know Veronica's on my sort of like roster of people who would support me in this house. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Right. But I didn't feel.
I don't trust anyone though, man. Like honestly, I feel like a lone wolf in this game. I feel like I'm gonna lone wolf my fucking ass through this game, and I don't give a shit otherwise. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've seen The Hangover, yes.
yeah.
There's always room for like an extra lone wolf in a wolf pack, and
Yeah. You got a wolf pack?
I've never been anything but straight with you, and I don't feel like you've ever been anything but straight with me. I know there are occasionally times I'm incapable of withholding information. I know there are times where you felt it better not to share what you have, and I trust and accept that. And I feel like if you thought I was truly in danger, you would say something. And I feel like that's where I'm comfortable being, because that's where you're comfortable being, and I'd rather you be comfortable than me constantly on you, because if I'm constantly on you, then you're just going to go, well, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He's not respecting what I'm trying to do here, and not respecting the game. So,
Yeah.
again, information being what it is, I had a conversation today that was, hey, can I talk to you about last night? Because I feel like you might think it was something other than what it was. But what it was they put my game in danger to take out a bigger player. But they never told me that that was the plan. And when we only have 10 minutes between things,
Yeah.
you had time to tell me the plan.
Yeah.
And then to come back the next morning and say, it was always a plan, and it wasn't even gonna be you, but Johnny fucked that up. And Liv panicked because Johnny wouldn't let her nominate.
Like I don't even get that though. Like why am I all? It's just such an easy scapegoat.
because
kind
it's
of.
a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Because then I don't
Like, who else are
immediately
they saying
turn
that to, though?
around.
It's annoying.
I don't immediately turn
It's
around
me
and
mad at
go,
you.
no, because they don't think I have anybody.
Yeah.
They don't think I have anybody. So they're not. I don't think they're saying that to anybody.
They're just trying to like buy you in some information.
Yep. They're trying to draw me closer by separating me from you. Because
Yeah.
the more I'm separated from everybody, the closer I have to be to them.
Yeah.
And
It's sloppy though.
yes, it is.
So sloppy basic
It is.
gameplay. Get out of here with your like elementary
is.
school BS.
But again, some people hook up a DVD player. Some people watch a DVD player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I don't want you to, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want, and I want to be out on Front Street with that too, because what I don't want is for that to come out. Oh yeah, Allie told me right after the after the eviction that they tried to kick you under the bus.
Yeah.
And then that comes out a week from now, and you're like, well, motherfucker,
Do I need to say that?
you haven't said it. You haven't stopped talking for days, and you didn't
But is
share
it shady
that.
too then if you tell them like, oh, I told Johnny that a week ago, then they'll think I've been harboring this resentment.
I will never tell them what I told you. Because again, I know who I believe I can trust.
You can't.
I know who I believe I can't trust.
Yeah.
And there are certain players that flock to power, and there are certain players that kiss ass. And I don't see you as a kiss ass.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't see you as a guy who flocks to power. I see you as a guy who has solid relationships with everybody in the building. And as such, you don't have to flock to power because you've already been talking to power before they were power.
Yeah.
You know? And again, that's not an
threat, I
assessment
see you, I
of
know,
dangerous
yeah.
or whatever, right? That is just...
I'm fine with you saying these things.
I know, but I always feel like people, like anytime I tell Kayla that she's a physical threat,
Yeah, people
she
get
gets
annoyed.
really angry about
Like,
it.
yesterday, that was a weird thing with Paris. Like, Ryan, you got a real way with planting seeds.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
When you were just
Yeah.
talking about like she hasn't been in the have-not room or something. What did you
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
Or-
yeah. I said that
Hasn't been nominated.
she hasn't been nominated yet.
I was like, that's
And I'm like,
a fact.
I'm not
like, if
just
you're not
fucking around. Like, you haven't been nominated. Like, I was just speaking out loud as I was processing the information. I just wasn't doing it in my head.
Like, these are people, yeah, it's different minds, right? Like,
Yes, yes.
it's like you're thinking game.
Yeah.
You're putting me in the same context of game conversations.
How dare
Hey,
you?
Yeah. Like,
How dare you?
I'm just here for a good time. Like, no, you're not.
Even
Like,
though they turn around and go, Ryan was talking game about
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I think we should vote out Ryan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, no, that's fucking like,
Yeah.
you know. Because, yeah, it's the same thing, right? All my conversations in week 2 about targets were everybody assumed I was a liar because they didn't want to believe what I was telling them.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't tell anybody anything that wasn't true. I may not have said who was targeting them because that wasn't a conversation I was willing to have until I knew where I stood.
Yeah.
But hey, I've got the information, and if you want it, let's figure something out. But nobody wanted to figure something out, so now everyone just assumes I'm this terrible font of information. When in the meantime, like the people who are actually targeting you are still out there targeting you,
Yeah.
and you don't know who it is. I did find it very telling, and in my conversation with Erica today, I came upon something that I was like, wait, you know, the idea is that Ali and Liv, right now in the house, and Dayla are at loggerheads, right?
At what?
At loggerheads.
Against each other?
They're against each other.
I'm
That's
not so sure about that.
I'm now. That was what I just said upstairs with Erica. I said, wait a minute, because if I'm HOH and I'm in a duo and the other duo is threatening to me, why am I nominating Marin and Ryan? Because maybe the other duo isn't threatening to me. Maybe the other duo is just staying away from us and pretending like they're at loggerheads.
Wait, are you talking about Erica right now? Or are you talking about Ali?
I'm talking about Ali, Liv, and you know, and Derek and Caleb.
Like they won't go after each other.
Well, yeah, it's maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is, and maybe they're, you know, maybe they're more than a 2,
I had no idea who.
and I don't know if that's the case or not.
Yeah.
But if I'm HOH and I'm supposed to be, if the common perception is that I've got a rivalry with another power duo, and I'm HOH, that power duo sits on the block
Yeah.
for no reason, for just because that's what you need to take your shot when you can.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got 2 people still coming at you.
I know.
Which makes no sense. And everybody in the house would have gone, oh yeah, this is the rivalry we've been seeing for weeks, and Liv got the upper hand, the first upper hand.
Yeah.
You know, and then it would have just been figuring it out, you know. So I kind of, yeah. I had a very interesting talk with Erica, and I don't know whether, you know, I said honestly to her, honestly, at the end of the day, you know who you can trust, you know who you can believe, and you know who's on your side. And I feel like I'm one of those people, and so you're either going to put me up or you're not. But, you know, like I told her, I said, you've always been honest and straight with me. I've always been honest and straight with you. I wouldn't come after you in the middle part of the game because that makes no sense. And in the meantime, it makes sense for me to have you around in the middle part of the game, not only because you will win comps and not put me up,
Yeah.
and you will, you know what I mean? Like, like
I
it's
know.
beneficial
I
for
think
me to
right
have
now
you around
she's
for now.
Most fearful about just like
Increasing the target.
yeah, and
Yep.
like
But I told
I
her,
think Hans leaving really shook her because she feels like he would have been a target in this house too.
yeah, I told her flat out. I said, nominating people that can't beat you doesn't give you any credit and doesn't reduce the target. So then why would you?
True. I also understand though, from her perspective, like nominating people who can beat you always means that eventually you're just gonna be left with being the only person who can beat everyone. You know what I mean?
But then you just beat everyone. I've watched the game enough to know that you can go HOH veto, HOH veto, HOH to win the end
You
of
think
the
she's good
season.
enough to do that?
Why not? She has been for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
She's won HOH veto, didn't play in HOH, didn't play in veto, HOH. She's won the last 3 competitions she played in.
Yeah.
And she won won 2 before that. She's won 4 of the last 5 she's been in.
Yeah.
And that's been 2 mental comps and 2 physical comps. So is she dangerous? Absolutely. Did I tell her right out? I said, you know, I don't see me coming at you from a nomination standpoint until at least half the people that are still in here are gone.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense for me to send you home now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the power player, you know, that everybody thinks, right? Or I'm not the schemer that everybody thinks, and it makes sense for me to have you around. It makes sense, quite frankly, have you around for a long time. You're a friendly guy who I feel like will feed me information if it's absolutely necessary to me.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want. I want a guy who I can trust
How do you think my chances are
to
of
give
this
me the
game?
information. I think your chances are about 1 in 11.
Those are pretty good odds. $100,000.
1 in 11, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Thursday comes and goes and I'm 1 in 10, then even better.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think you've got a better shot with a jury vote than most. But at the same time,
That can put me at risk for
what I was going to say earlier before Will walked in, and I didn't want to say it was Will there,
Yeah.
was there are also people in here that I would like to see that I wouldn't mind losing to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like if I see Will as one of those guys, because Will's got Parker, and Parker's going to take, you know, $100,000 takes care of Parker for a long, long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I see you as a guy that wants to start a family in a very costly process.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I see you as a guy that I wouldn't mind losing to at the end of the day, because I see you as a guy that money is going to go to family and not just go. And I mean, Allie looked right at my face yesterday in the red room with everybody else, and she's like, "You don't deserve the money more just because you have a family." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I guess, but you know, if I have to take somebody to the end,
That matters.
you know, if I have to take somebody to the end, that absolutely matters to me. You know, what are you doing with the money? And I know what you're going to do with the money, or I assume I know what you would
No,
do with the
that's
money.
a piece
Right?
of-
I feel like that's a healthy chunk.
Yeah.
You know, depending on and depending on how long that process takes,
Yeah,
right? You know,
exactly.
because it's expensive
it all
immediately, and it could, you know, you could try forever and not end up with what you need, and then that $100,000 is just gone.
Well, I think you're the
in
only person who's
chase,
going to think like that, to be honest with you.
right? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
Probably
but
is
I
actually
don't.
what it is.
It doesn't really bother me to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the
So-
Combs.
It's just gonna fucking suck.
I don't know how he's planning on sleeping up here.
You're sleeping
I think it's
great.
actually kind of ideal. I have like this wall beside me. I feel like I'm not at like ground level, so it's less sound.
I mean, it's not cold air blowing right at you. Because I think, isn't there a vent like right at your bed there, Allie?